urgent situation. What's being done to fill a paramedic shortage in Saskatchewan? The death of a woman in northern Saskatchewan sparks calls for help. What leaders are calling for. And suit yourself, why formal menswear is making a major comeback.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. We begin tonight with the paramedic shortage in Saskatchewan. Many of the first responders from across the province gathered in Saskatoon today where staffing shortages and rising call volumes were front and center. CTV's Laura Woodward reports.
There's a shortage of paramedics in Saskatchewan.
We have 200 vacancies open in Saskatchewan right now.
The issue took center stage at the annual conference of the Paramedic Services Chiefs of Saskatchewan, held in Saskatoon. The provincial government has introduced bursaries of up to $10,000 to attract students and new graduates to emergency medical services. But recruitment and retention remain a challenge as paramedics leave for jobs in nursing, policing, and firefighting, careers that offer higher average pay.
Nursing, police, and fire are paying a bit more and a better work-life balance, and that's just what we need to advocate for and bring that for paramedics as well.
The staffing crunch comes as demand for ambulances continues to climb.
In the last 10 years, we've seen a 100% increase in call volume across the province.
Paramedics say they're responding to more overdoses and suicide-related emergencies across the province. And with fewer people to cover the workload, crews are getting stretched thin.
Sometimes paramedics are working, 14 to 16 hours in a day. So it takes a toll on the paramedics that we have.
Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A northern community is mourning a 21-year-old mother. One man has been charged with manslaughter in her death. And as CTV's Stacey Hine tells us, the alleged killing is renewing calls for more policing and frontline resources in northern Saskatchewan.
The death of a 21-year-old mother has left the community of Turner Lake and neighboring Birch Narrows Dene Nation in mourning. One chief says,
"Please continue to keep this family in our community in your hearts in the days ahead."
RCMP say officers were called to a home in Turner Lake about 590 kilometers northwest of Saskatoon after receiving a report of an injured woman. Shalea Mongrand was declared dead at the scene, while one man was arrested outside the home. 25-year-old Darian Mongrand now faces 5 charges, including manslaughter. RCMP says it cannot provide details on the relationship between the accused and the victim. Following the death, Chief Jonathan Sylvester joined the NDP in calling on the provincial government to address what they say are long-standing requests for more policing and frontline resources in northern communities.
We have repeatedly raised concerns about addictions, mental health, and public safety in the north. There have been times when we had extremely limited police presence in our communities.
Northern leaders have also been promised community safety officers and additional supports, and those promises still have not been materialized.
The community safety minister says there is a community safety officer position in the area, but it's currently vacant.
They did have an individual hired, but they became injured, and so now it's a matter of the First Nation finding another candidate.
The minister adds the government is open to exploring additional options.
Our government's very willing to work with the RCMP, Public Safety Canada, and our First Nations partners to see what other opportunities are available.
On social media, Shalea Mongrand's loved ones are remembering her as sweet, charismatic, and having a big heart. As for Darian Mongrand, his next court appearance is scheduled for June 1st in the Losh. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A 26-year-old man has died following a crash south of Saskatoon. It happened last night just before midnight on Highway 15 in the RM of Rosedale. RCMP say a vehicle rolled. The driver and only person in the vehicle died at the scene. He has been identified as being from the area. Investigators are looking into what contributed to the crash. City crews worked to fix a power pole damaged by a semi in Saskatoon's North End last night. A semi truck hit the pole on Circle Drive near Miller Avenue after 8 p.m. Traffic was rerouted in the area to allow crews to clear the crash and fix the power pole. There is no word on what contributed to the collision or if any charges are pending. A man has been charged after a missing teen was found in a motel room held against her will. RCMP say officers were told about a missing teenage girl in North Battleford on April 25th. The investigation led police to a motel room in the city. The missing teen was found locked in a bathroom and seriously injured. A 22-year-old man is facing a string of charges, including sexual assault, sexual interference, abduction, forcible confinement, and uttering threats. He is scheduled to appear in court next week. Battleford's RCMP are looking for help in identifying a person who may have information about grandparent scams in the area. They have released these photos taken on April 20th of a person they want to talk to. RCMP say they'd also like to speak with anyone who may have seen the person on April 20th at about 2 p.m. The grandparent scam sees a scammer call elderly people posing as a grandchild or loved one asking for money for an emergency. Anyone who knows who this person is should contact Battleford's RCMP. I would say today's a lovely day, wouldn't you say, Jeff?
It was pretty darn nice. And, a little breezy at times, but it's going to be warmer tomorrow. And it's going to be a lot windier, particularly in the afternoon. So keep that in mind, depending on what your activities are expected to be. But right now, we're not dealing with the same amount of, quite the mess that's going on in parts of Ontario and Quebec and ultimately making its way out to Atlantic Canada. But we've got ourselves relatively quiet conditions for the next little while. But a change is a-coming. Low pressure center is brewing up, and it's going to be making its way into Alberta and Saskatchewan. And with it, a big wingspan of rain. And some places might see some of the S word.
Some delivery drivers in Saskatoon spent another day protesting outside the Dragonfly Distribution Centre. They are raising concern about their pay and working conditions. As Hallie Mandrick reports, some employment experts say this type of contract work is becoming more common.
We want fair pay! We want fair pay!
Saskatoon's Dragonfly delivery drivers are now on their 5th day of a protest against lowering wages and poor working conditions.
They don't need drivers, they want slaves.
Dragonfly is a third-party delivery company, which workers say handles many Amazon packages. Workers are hired by a broker called IDC, which gets a percentage of the driver's profits.
The fundamental problem is they're treated as independent contractors, but independent contractor is not really the right way to look at them.
These drivers say they are paid a per package rate, which has been decreasing over time without notice. Within a year, the workers have gone from making $1.89 a package to less than $1.40.
They never discuss with us. We figured out when we get our paycheck. We would love to continue our work with Dragonfly, but our demand is everything will be in return, and we are not asking for raise. We are asking for what we used to get.
Singh is one of many drivers who have since been fired by Dragonfly after walking off the job in protest. The workers are now also seeing support from the union representing Canada Post.
We are really saddened to hear about how our friends at Dragonfly were being taken advantage of, and we have a lot of support, as you can hear. And so we wanted to come out and show support. It's completely unfair that they should be delivering parcels basically for free with no health and safety provisions.
Dragonfly provided a statement to CTV which highlighted how the company does not directly employ drivers, but rather works with independent delivery companies which provide drivers. But the company did not comment on issues regarding wage. From a legal standpoint, Rudner says these workers are in an industry that is relatively new, which means the law does not yet offer much protection for workers in situations like this one.
They don't get to decide when they're going to work, how they're going to work, or anything like that. Those terms are imposed upon them. But the way our law is set up right now, they're seen as independent contractors. They don't have the recourses that employees would have.
Those picketing say they plan to continue their protest until they see change. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The NDP warned of a government plan to increase Sask power rates 90% by 2040. The projection was based on a leaked Sask power document obtained by the NDP. Wayne Mantika explains.
The projected rate increase over the next decade and a half will meet Sask Power's rising costs and a shift to new technology like nuclear-generated electricity. The NDP claim it's outlined in a leaked Sask Power document.
Today, Another leaked document, this time a briefing note prepared by Sask Power officials that warns that under the Sask Party government's plan, and I quote, the average cost of electricity is projected to be 20% higher by 2030 and 95% higher by 2040 without carbon tax.
The opposition says taxpayers will also pay more because of a plan to refurbish coal-fired power plants.
So, Mr. Speaker, that's a minimum 5% rate increase every year out to 2030 and 7.5% every year out to 2040.
The NDP say refurbishing coal plants will cost $26 billion, but that includes salaries and coal supplies for the next quarter century. The government says the actual capital cost is 1/10 that.
Unlike the member's opposite plan, of which no one has endorsed, in fact, we've had representatives today and yesterday representing over 1,400 Sask Power workers and the procurement industry, Mr. Speaker, that are speaking out loudly against their plan.
The NDP say it would cost less to switch to natural gas, solar and wind generated electricity. The government disagrees, saying it would be twice as expensive. Either way, consumers will pay more. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
The provincial government says it's securing more goods and services from Saskatchewan companies. It says during the 2025-26 fiscal year, more than 94% of all procurement contracts valued at $698 million were awarded to Saskatchewan-based companies. That's a 4% increase from the year before. The province says securing contracts with Saskatchewan companies builds stronger local businesses and provides good jobs for Saskatchewan people. Prince Albert's historic downtown could see major changes in the next 5 years. As Jasmine Pelche reports, Central Avenue is now one step closer to becoming a two-way street.
Now the real estate on the streets, on both sides of the streets, get a lot of visibility, and so it increases even more opportunities for our entrepreneurs, our arts, our coffee houses.
At Monday's meeting, City Council voted 7-2 to move ahead with designing an updated Central Avenue that would include a switch from one-way to two-way traffic. The city says two-way traffic will make it easier for drivers to access businesses and would increase walkability and transit access. Some councillors voiced doubt in the idea.
I do have budgetary concerns when it comes to multiple projects that are projected over the next few years.
The city says that some of the underground infrastructure in the area is more than 120 years old and in need of replacement.
The infrastructure is not getting any newer. It's just continuing to age, and we're eventually going to get pushed into a situation where we're going to have to address it. And usually when that happens, we're not going to be ready and it's going to cost more.
The Prince Albert and District Chamber of Commerce submitted a letter to council in support of two-way traffic, saying it recognizes it will require a period of adjustment for residents and businesses, but the advantages of improved navigation, increased storefront exposure, and a more welcoming environment align with the goals of a vibrant, thriving downtown.
The whole official plan that we have about being an arts and education center in the downtown, it just allows for that to happen while we're doing the infrastructure that we would be doing anyway.
A city administration report from March says the project could take until 2029 to be construction ready. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Formal wear for men is back in demand. Following a lag after COVID, Saskatchewan retailers say business is once again booming. Keenan Sorokon explains.
Menswear is making a comeback on the prairies. With grads, weddings, and galas in full swing, the demand for formal wear is as high as it's ever been.
Every year for the last 3 years, we say no, it's not going to get busier. There's no way it's going to. And yet it gets busier and it gets busier, and it's happening earlier.
With the pandemic 6 years behind us, many in the industry wondered if events would ever come back to a full scale, or if work from home would destroy some of these local staples in the area. But the opposite is turning out to be true.
I would say this is the busiest
in my 40 years that I could ever remember being.
Shop owners attribute this unprecedented return of formal clothing to that suit from before the pandemic not fitting as well or looking a little dated. Events demanding nicer clothing are back, and the personal service you get in these stores can't be duplicated online. Fred Matheson remembers when there were 9 menswear stores in Prince Albert. Now his shop is the only one of its kind.
I can see the tears in the mother's eyes and the father's eyes when their son is trying on that suit. It's that experience, not only for us, the experience for the mom and the dad, and especially the individual buying the suit, that you just can't get that maybe at a big box store.
And whether it's suits, dresses, or gowns, all that demand flows down to the tailors, making sure things are customized to the individual.
When it's too tight, they throw. No, don't throw it. Bring it here. I can let out for you. Yeah. Yeah, when it's big also, even when his shoulder is big, like Rough Riders, I can take up shoulders.
And when that suit fits just right for some of the biggest moments happening all spring and summer long across the province, it's a moment everyone admires.
That is a proud moment for us because, you know, we've had a little bit of a hand in helping them get there. So it's really important that clients know that we really do appreciate their support.
Keenan Sorakan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A member of the Saskatoon Police Service will be receiving a national honor later this week. Superintendent Tanya Gresty is among 57 members across the country to be celebrated with the Order of Merit of the Police Forces. 7 officers will also be invested during a ceremony on Thursday at Rideau Hall. The Order of Merit of Police Forces was established in October of 2000 and honors leadership and exceptional service or distinctive merit. Superintendent Gresty has served with the Saskatoon Police Service for 25 years and is the first female superintendent for the Saskatoon Police Service. Still to come, the number of hantavirus cases linked to that cruise ship climbs. Also, when there's not a consensus about the Canadian census. You're watching CTV News live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. The deadline to fill out your census form is today. The questionnaire helps the government with planning and understanding the makeup of the country. But this year, some are using the survey as a form of protest and refusing to complete it. Heather Wright explains.
During the last census in 2021, roughly 98% of Canadians filled out the survey, a vital tool according to Statistics Canada that helps governments make informed decisions.
I do feel betrayed by the government.
But some are choosing not to fill out this year's census as a way to protest the Carney government in the series of floor crossings that helped the Liberals secure a majority government last month.
We voted for a minority government. We didn't vote for a majority government. Why can't we have a say?
While Canadians have been asked to fill out the census by today, it's not technically a deadline. If people don't fill it out, they could receive follow-up phone calls or in-person visits until it is completed, which is required by law. Those who refuse could receive a fine of up to $500.
It's a key part of our democracy, but it's also fundamental for the basic services the government provides. You're going to want to know where the population lives if you're going to place a school, a hospital, a fire station, a police station. If you're planning transit routes, you need to know where people live and where they work.
Jeff Balby is the Assistant Chief Statistician for Statistics Canada and says all data collected is de-identified and securely kept within the organization.
We are absolutely required under law to keep all of the data that we collect here at StatCan within the walls of Statistics Canada so we can guarantee the privacy and confidentiality.
Statistics Canada says it is still too early to know how many people have refused the census, but they say according to preliminary numbers, the response rate this year is comparable to in the past. Heather Wright, CTV News, Brampton, Ontario.
There are now 9 confirmed cases worldwide of people infected with the hantavirus following that outbreak on a cruise ship. Spanish passenger has now tested positive for the virus, and there are also 2 suspected cases. The evacuation of all passengers and many crew members from the cruise ship is now complete, and the vessel is heading back to the Netherlands, where it will be cleaned and disinfected. So far, all cases are among those who were on the ship. The overall tally includes 3 people who died. The World Health Organization says there is no sign of the start of a larger outbreak, but given the long incubation period of the virus, it's possible there could be more cases in the coming weeks. 9 people are isolating and being monitored in Canada, 3 in Ontario, 4 in BC, and 2 in Alberta. The U.S.-Israeli war with Iran continues to impact the Middle East and international energy markets.
How do we know that the ceasefire is active or not active without any documentation?
We know it's evident, and the ceasefire is in effect.
Mr. Cuellar.
That is despite Iranian attacks and the ongoing U.S. blockade. But the Americans say Tehran's acts of aggression are below the threshold of major combat operations, and therefore the truce has not been violated. Thousands of people have died in the war, and the Pentagon said today the financial cost of the conflict is $29 billion so far. Ukraine has started preparations for a military drone deal with Canada. President Volodymyr Zelensky says 20 countries are already working with Ukraine on similar deals. Prime Minister Carney's office said last summer a letter of intent was signed to co-produce defense materials in both countries, but it did not refer specifically to drones. Ukraine has talked about signing export deals with other nations to supply them with advanced drone technology. Any deal could also include drones being built in Canada for Ukraine. Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen and his Artemis II crewmates were welcomed to Capitol Hill today.
I can speak on behalf of Canadians to say this is something that we as Canadians admire in you in America, and that you set these extraordinary goals and you leave space for others like Canada to come along and contribute in a meaningful way. And by doing those things, you garner immense respect around the world, but you lift up others to come along with you. Congratulations.
Each of the astronauts received a copy of a resolution passed unanimously on behalf of the U.S. Senate. It says thank you to the crew for their leadership. The resolution will remain forever in the record of the United States. The astronauts conducted the first crewed lunar flyby in 50 years during their 10-day mission last month, and they ventured further into space than anyone before them.
Hello, my name is Michelle Alders, and on behalf of Guston House, I would like to invite you to our upcoming recital on Tuesday, May the 19th at 7:30 p.m. at St. John's Anglican Cathedral, featuring Canada's beloved Griffin Trio. This rare program is entitled Becoming the Piano Trio. For tickets, go to gustonhouse.ca. And Watson would like to know, what's the weather going to be like?
Well, I can't say no to a dog named Watson. That's a great name for a dog. Anyhow, let's take a look and see what we've got going on, Michelle, for the big show coming up a week from today. Things are looking not bad, a little on the cloudy side, but temperatures back to more seasonal numbers after the long weekend. 18 degrees, mainly cloudy skies. Once again, showtime is 7:30 at St. Paul's Anglican Church there on Spadina. GustonHouse.ca, that is the place to go to find out more about this concert from Guston House. All right, now let's take a quick look at our numbers. Right now in Saskatoon, we've got ourselves 24 degrees in Saskatoon, 22 in Prince Albert, and 23 in the Battlefords right now. And as you can see, the winds have backed off a little bit. Still kind of breezy in some places, but not nearly as windy as it's gonna be tomorrow. Our high today, 23.8. I put the decimal in there. You'll see later on why. 18 degrees for a typical temperature, so about 5 degrees or more, a little above that. Nowhere near the record warm temperature of 33 degrees set in 1958. The record cold temperature on the 12th of May, -7 in near 2000. And the sun is going to go down just before 9 o'clock.
Coming up, the crash course seen worldwide. A closer look at the motorcycle mishap making its rounds.
All right. right, welcome back. Let's take a look through the live lens of Skycam. It looks like a pretty placid sky out there, sort of, postcard-like stuff. A few fluffy clouds, and it's been a warm day, a little breezy. But as I've been mentioning throughout the broadcast, we're anticipating a much windier day tomorrow and a warmer day. So not dealing with so much of this active weather that's making its way through the Great Lakes region into parts of Ontario and Quebec. But we are talking about a system that has started brewing up in, sort of in the Idaho Panhandle area, coming up across the Rocky Mountains into Alberta and eventually into northern areas of Saskatchewan. But on its way, it's going to be creating a lot of unsettled conditions, and with those unsettled conditions, rain with a pretty big wingspan in terms of the area that it's going to be covering. So 24 degrees right now in Saskatoon, 22 in Prince Albert, and 23 in the Battlefords. On to our hotspot. Well, that was Kindersley at 24 degrees, 24.0. So Saskatoon just a little bit cooler than Kindersley today. So Kindersley is the hot spot. -2 in Sandy Bay, that is the cold spot. Around the province we go, starting off with the larger communities as we always do. Lloydminster, 22 degrees, the same in Regina and Yorkton, 21, and Moose Jaw for that matter, 21 in Swift Current and Estevan. In central Saskatchewan, actually a pretty I'll say, consistent or closely aligned temperature pattern here. 20 degrees in Waskesiu and Hudson Bay, but it only warms up to 24. That's here in Saskatoon. And then we have 23 in Kindersley and Rosetown and the Battlefords, 22 in Meadow Lake, 21 in Wynyard. Up north, 7 degrees in Collins Bay, but it does warm up to 20, and that is in La Ronge. But 15 degrees in Buffalo Narrows and Key Lake, 16 in Sandy Bay, Island Falls, and 23 degrees in Maple Creek right now. The same for Elbow and Last Mountain. 24 in Outlook, but it cools off to 19. That's in Broadview, 22 in Carlisle and Melville and Indian Head and a few other places. Okay, let's take a look at our futurecast. So here's the computer modeling, and the big deal of the day, at least for tomorrow, is going to be those pressure lines getting much, much closer together. And of course, when we see that, we know that it's going to be a windy situation. That's certainly true for Wednesday. And in behind it, see all that active weather sliding up through the Pacific Northwest of the United States into British Columbia and Alberta. That is the big rainmaker that is coming our way. And some of that rain, well, it might not be rain, it might be something else, but that's going to be later in the weekend. We've got ourselves a cloudy or mainly cloudy skies for northern Saskatchewan tomorrow. 14 for Stony Rapids, but it gets as warm as 22 in Buffalo Narrows. Temperatures of around 28 degrees for west central Saskatchewan with mainly cloudy skies in the region, but wind will be a big deal for Kindersley and Rosetown. Once again, wind gusts up around 60 kilometers an hour. That's true of Maple Creek, Outlook, and Swift Current as well. Temperatures around 28 degrees, 29 for Outlook. On to the southeast. Yes, windy conditions are going to be a big part of Wednesday with temperatures around that 28 degree mark and just slightly cooler than that, but still well above seasonal for east central Saskatchewan. Temperatures of 26 or 27 degrees. Expecting a windy day in Watrous as well. Dropping down to 9 degrees in the Battlefords. 28 tomorrow, but a windy day in store for the Battlefords. The 7-day outlook. Well, here we go. Temperatures really dropping off as we head into the long weekend, and look at that, a chance of some flurries or showers or both on Saturday, but warming back to seasonal numbers by the time we get to Tuesday. For Prince Albert, 5 degrees overnight, 27 tomorrow. Again, a windy situation for the Gateway City on Wednesday, 18 on Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday, a chance of showers and or flurries, depending on the timing, both days, and then 11 on Sunday. Holiday Monday, 16, back to work Tuesday, 18. And Saskatoon's overnight temperature, 7 degrees with clearing skies. Tomorrow's high, 29 big degrees, but it is going to be a windy and warm day. And then we've got ourselves a real big drop-off as we head towards Saturday. What's that? Yeah, a 30% chance of flurries on Saturday, and then warming back up to seasonal numbers after the long weekend. A new experience for Beatles fans. Apple Corps Limited, the company founded by the Fab Four, plans to open a new 7-floor fan experience at the company's early headquarters. The building is the place where the band's Let It Be album was recorded, and its rooftop was the site of the Beatles' last public performance on January 30th, 1969. An opening date for the attraction has not yet been announced. That will be cool. The red carpet has officially rolled out for the 79th Cannes Film Festival. Today marks the start of the 12-day world premieres. The winner of the festival will be given the prestigious Palme d'Or Prize. The opening night film is the French comedy drama The Electric Kiss. There will also be a tribute tonight to Peter Jackson, the director behind the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And Marilyn Monroe's Hidden World is heading to auction. Items up for sale include clothing, jewelry, handwritten notes, paintings, and poetry. Heritage Auctions is hosting the sale, which happens June 1st. It coincides with what would have been the star's 100th birthday.
All right, Jeff, Theatre in the Park is back for another season, I hear.
Yeah, and they're hoping for good weather. Are you ready for some free theater in the park? Family-friendly theater? Well, you're in luck because Some Theater is back with its latest production. This year, it is The Color of the Town. And with me today, Jenna and Zoe. And, well, first of all, let's find out, what is the show about? In broad strokes, Jenna, what's the show about?
The show is about community and building friendship and uplifting each other through thick and thin, and what we can achieve when we all bond together as one.
And do you bond together with the stickiness of honey?
Oh, sure do. The bees make an excellent part of the journey.
All right, Zoe. This show is not only going to be playing in Saskatoon, but it's on the road. So what other places are you going to?
We'll also be going to Prince Albert and La Ronge, as well as a week in Regina.
Okay, so you're going to be on the road doing a show like this. It looks like you, I know you're dressed up as a bee now, but you're also a butterfly. Do you play any other insects?
No, I play Tope townsfolk and, yep, the butterfly and the bee.
Okay, and Zoe mentioned Tope Town. Is that a town that needs to learn a lesson about color?
Yeah, so we open up and we visit Tope Town, and all they know is taupe, and we're going to take them on a big journey about learning about different colors.
All right, different colors, and you can see all those colors when you visit a park. Go to the website to find out where these actors will be performing The Color of the Town. Break a leg with your run.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Jeff, time for Pick of the Day, and we have a special variety today.
We certainly do. We're going to start off with a kitty cat. So we're going to start off with the lake. Amber sent us actually, Teresa, the mom, sent this in, but Amber gets the photo credit here. My daughter Amber took this photo today, May 12th, from Humboldt Lake. The ice will likely melt off today. Well, We'll see about that, Teresa. But thanks, Amber, for sending that in. And then from Brad, we have this picture. Princess Navasheen enjoying the warmth in Saskatoon. Yeah, the sun coming up and some nice sunshine there. Even the kitty cats like it. And this one, well, this one's from me. Yes, today is my sister and brother-in-law's 25th wedding anniversary. Congratulations to Marnie and Adam. We love you. And by the way, this shout out, this counts as a gift. Yes. Oh. Yes, it does.
How about a better forecast?
Well, I can't promise that.
A big offering.
Well, they're good. Anyways, moving on. If you'd like to share an image with us, you can do so by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca. And please put Pick of the Day in the subject line. It helps us sort through the emails.
Still to come on CTV News, the motorcycle mishap raising eyebrows. The video getting a lot of views and explanations. We are learning more about a motorcycle crash in BC that has now been seen around the world. A motorcycle left dangling from a traffic light following a collision. CTV's Sinjin Alexander brings us the update.
At first glance, this seems impossible. This must be a prank or AI. But it's real, all right. And now one of the most analyzed and talked about motorcycle crashes.
It's like, wow, that really happened, you know?
Moments before the collision, watch the middle of the intersection. A sedan is making a left-hand turn. Then a bike enters the frame. It's up on one wheel as the rider appears to hit the brakes before colliding with the car. Mike McDonald, instructor at V-Twin Motorcycle Riding School.
Oftentimes when something like this does happen, everybody's thinking, well, is this rider okay? Do we know him?
Police say the rider was hurt, but is expected to survive. Now, we don't have all the details yet. Investigators will likely reconstruct the crash. We are told intersections are one of the most dangerous spots on the road for motorbikes.
Because we have risks coming from all different locations, both sides, in front of us, turns, all of those things.
Ryan Austin is also an instructor and retired police sergeant. He figures the forensic team will be looking at angles of contact. And because the bike left the ground, it might reveal how fast it was going based on throw distance.
From a legal perspective, the officers doing the investigation still need to put all the pieces together to show that that video is actually valid.
The kind of car it was and the way the fender was shaped, and of course, you know, the front tire of a motorcycle being as rounded as it is, it was just a perfect storm, and geometry just kind of launched it up.
And since these images are so baffling and has people talking, they hope it reminds riders the importance of defensive training and drivers to stay alert as motorcycle season officially gets underway. St. Alexander, CTV News, Vancouver.
When we come back, mining for success in Saskatchewan and why the future of agriculture in the province is looking bright.
Welcome back. Time to take a look at the rural forecast for tomorrow. And the temperatures are warm, but you can certainly see many of the icons are featuring windy because, yes, we do have sustained winds around 40 kilometers an hour, wind gusts up to 60. We haven't seen any wind warnings from Environment Canada as of yet. But look at these temperatures, 27s, 28s, 26 for Hudson Bay and Melfort, 25 for Wynyard. Let's go down south and see what we got going on down there. Yeah, more of the same. The temperatures down south basically ranging from, there's not much of a range, between 26 and 29 degrees. So it is warmer than seasonal, but quite windy throughout Saskatchewan. And does that include the Nacum area? The short answer is yes. Winds out of the south 30 gusting to 50. So maybe not enough does get to trigger a warning, but still very breezy, windy indeed. So, but look at that temperature, 26 degrees. And keep in mind, Nacum is one of those places where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
Greetings, everyone. 2025 was a big year in the mining industry in Saskatchewan, with the sector generating over $12.8 billion in mineral sales. Now, as a part of its path towards reconciliation, the Mosaic Company has announced its 2030 Reconciliation Action Plan, aiming to attract more Indigenous peoples to the mining industry here in Saskatchewan. Sierra D'Souza Butts tells us more.
Before joining the mining industry at Mosaic Company, Derek Lejambe was a power engineer by trade.
What really got to me was Mosaic and potash, especially, is very stable. You know, people are always going to eat. There's always going to be demand. So it was a good choice for me.
Lejambe currently works as a maintenance supervisor supporting the mill services underground. Throughout his 6 years working for Mosaic, he has witnessed the company open up opportunities for Indigenous people, including himself.
One of the things I spoke about in the past was I was not proud to be Indigenous, right? So working for Mosaic, and also my own personal, working at Mosaic has allowed me and actually encouraged me to work towards that.
Now, he is hoping he can be part of the reason to attract the next generation of Indigenous youth into the industry, as growing Indigenous representation in the workforce is also part of Mosaic's 2030 Reconciliation Action Plan.
For Mosaic, we looked at reconciliation through the lens of where could we make the biggest impact. And for us, and with our operations in Saskatchewan, where we're mining potash, jobs is a big one, our partnerships, as well as our own workforce culture internally.
Part of Mosaic's action plan for the next 5 years is to expand its entry-level jobs to Indigenous people while also focusing on hiring and procurement. Jones says working underground in the mine is not the only job in the industry.
Of course, we need a lot of great people to work underground or in our mills and our mines, but we also have great jobs in procurement, in health and safety, in HR, in things like what I do, public affairs and government relations. So there's a lot of careers in mining.
Lejambe says educating people on the different opportunities there are for youth is the first step towards them pursuing a career in mining, adding he encourages people to give it a shot.
In this case, the Indigenous youth, I feel that they are poised to take the place that their ancestors, that their relatives before them couldn't have.
For Indigenous Circle, I'm Sierra D'Souza Butts in Regina.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
Game 3 of the WHL Championship Series between the Raiders and Everett Silvertips goes tonight in Prince Albert.
No kidding. Rudolph, Coots, Cripps, Coots scores!
The Raiders split the first 2 games in Everett. The Raiders play well at home with a 7-1 record in the playoffs with just 4 regulation losses in the regular season. Game time is 7:30. You can watch it on TSN 3 and 4 or stream it on Victory Plus. Rule changes have been announced for the upcoming CFL season. One of the main ones, ties will no longer be allowed. If the game remains tied after the 2 overtime mini games, the teams will have 1 chance to score a 2-point conversion from the 3-yard line until a winner is determined. All turnovers will lead to an automatic review from the replay center, so there's no need to use a challenge. A single point for any kick that goes out of the end zone will no longer be allotted. Instead, it must stay in the end zone and not be advanced past the goal line. A kick that goes out of bounds through the end zone will no point awarded, or hits the uprights from a field goal will start on the 40-yard line. Tim Hortons is about to face some steep competition as Dunkin' is planning a Canadian comeback. The U.S. coffee chain has signed a deal with Foodtastic, the restaurant group behind chains like Second Cup, Pita Pit, and Freshie. Foodtastic's president says Dunkin' will first expand to Quebec and Ontario, then to other parts of Canada. Dunkin' once had hundreds of Canadian locations before pulling out of Canada in 2018. Coming up, the students pushing for a better future in farming. Then the pot thieves that are lighting up the internet.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here tonight on CTV, starting at 7 with Celebrity Jeopardy! Before, Saskatchewan students were recognized for their leadership and in agriculture. The province's Minister of Agriculture welcoming them to the Legislative Building today to receive agriculture student scholarships. Carson Green from Mossbank was awarded $6,000 as the grand prize. Brianna Young from Boulier, Eva Schaefer from Makwa, and Marshall Mann from Lloydminster were each awarded $3,000 as runners-up.
Winning this scholarship means a great deal to me, as it shows that the young people entering this industry are being invested in and supported.
So it's really important that we engage with the youth, give them every opportunity to have that opportunity for post-secondary education, and continue in the ag sector in all aspects of it.
The Agriculture Student Scholarship supports Saskatchewan students who are passionate about agriculture and committed to advancing the sector through innovation, education, and leadership. All right, a smash and grab and attempted arson at a Michigan cannabis shop went a bit sideways when the suspects unintentionally sparked up themselves. And it was all caught on video. Surveillance video shows a Jeep ramming through the front door. One suspect grabs product while the other pours gasoline all over the store. The shop's owner describes what happens next as amateur hour. As they try to ignite the gasoline, one of the suspects is then lit on fire. They run from the store with their shoes on fire. Sprinklers extinguished the flames and the shop opened the same day without issue. So, not the most well thought out plan.
No, not really at all. Hey, just a quick update on one of the pictures we showed you in Picture of the Day. It was from Humboldt Lake, came from Amber, and with help of her mom, Teresa. And Teresa said, I think the ice will be gone by the end of the day. And I thought, well, maybe not. But then we got this picture. I doubted her, and I asked for her apologies. I asked for her grace there. But yes, these are the pictures from Humboldt Lake today. And so yes, the ice is gone.
Yes,
so
this is true.
Humboldt Lake, some people might think of it as Stony Lake. It's the one one that's near Humboldt, just south of Humboldt.
Well, hopefully the ice stays away for a while.
Yeah. Well, we got some snow in the forecast, so we'll see.
I said hope. I'm just saying, you know?
No, we've got ourselves a windy day in store tomorrow, but it will be warm. So put on that sunblock.
And a hat.
And a hat. Well, and if you're going to put on a hat, it's going to need a string.
Yeah, or lots of hairspray.
Yeah,
or all of the above.
That's right. Glue it to your head with one of the fine products, that you can find on any shelf.
This is true. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.